Yeah, semen retention. What's it like to really be free of this compulsive sexual addiction and lust and edging? Like, what are the benefits? What does that really look like? I have to start by saying this. I remember about 10, no, maybe 15, 17 years ago, I was in the elevator with a guy who's probably in his late 50s. The elevator stopped. A girl walked in, young teen. Yeah, I think she was a teenager. And fresh, looking pretty, etc. Before she walked in, this guy, he's in his suit, everything, looking confident, stable. This girl walked in, and man, this guy got thrown all out of balance. I mean, it wasn't like he started tripping out, but it was. Can I say subtle? For me, it wasn't subtle. It was very obvious. But yeah, okay, let's say subtle. For the collective perception, observation, it was subtle. But he just couldn't. He lost his whole posture, his bearing. He's looking at her, trying not to look, but looking. And I'm not deep into semen retention because I'm young also. It was like early 20s or something before I started traveling the planet looking for answers. And but that stayed with me. That memory stayed with me. I've had billions of memories in my life, obviously, but there's a few that stay with me. And I noticed after that, I began to notice it more, you see, with others. And then that helped me also notice it in my own self, you see. And it also gave me compassion for girls and women because they smell that and see that a mile away. And I'm sure if I was a girl, attractive girl, and I'm getting that all the time, I'd just be like, Jesus Christ, like can I go, like, are there any guys that just don't objectify me, who don't have the power to, just stay grounded and just see me as another just expression of life? Like, are you guys really that horny? Like, really? So I can get that. I can get that. What was I going to say? These priests, girls had a bad deal. These priests that used to, hundreds of years ago, I forgot the name of that period, but the priests would be, this is when they would burn the women at the stake. They think they're witches. Why? Because these idiot priests would try to take a vow of celibacy, semen retention. They're not totally the same thing, but I'm just saying. These guys couldn't retain their semen. They became insane because when a nice girl would walk by, or she's being natural, or she's picking herbs or whatever, they would get activated inside. They'd be cool when they're with their buddies talking whatever nonsense they're talking, and then a girl would walk by and they totally just get, it's like the guy in the elevator, you see? And then they justify it, the mind and ego, and say, whoa, she's a witch, she's putting some spell on us. They couldn't just admit, like, no, I'm super weak and I have a lot of sexual desire and she brought it out of me and thank you for bringing it out of me. No, we got to burn you because you're doing shit to us that we're priests. Like, you must be a really strong witch that the devil sent to have that power. It's like, no, bro, you're just so weak that you can't even look at a girl. Anyway, there's a reason I said that. So imagine if you're free of that, you see? When I was in Thailand also, I mentioned this before though, there was a guy like in his 70s walking on the beach with he needed two girls to help him walk because he couldn't walk. And he smiled, I mean, he's a player, and I'm just watching how this sexual lust instinct will continue. It can just keep going, until this body dies. And then because that desire wasn't transcended, it's gonna it's gonna, because the goal is transcendence. This is the destiny for everybody. If we didn't transcend something, we're going to attract another body again to transcend it. That those desires to have these experiences, to chase women and to lust after them, they stay. Those energies and tendencies stay inside, you can say, our causal body. I don't want to get too deep into this. It's not the right video for that. But that body doesn't die. It's a subtle body. And that's what will attract a new physical body to work off this karma and desire, so to speak. So, so that sucks, you see, to be just a victim and a slave to these impulses. Jesus, what is this bug won't leave me alone? That keep, I want to, it's like on the camera now. It's waiting for me to to be unconscious so it can bite me. To imagine how it would be to be free of that. There's people that can't even go an hour. Like you can't even walk in the park or outside and not do that. And they can be totally planning to do it when they're in their room alone. They're like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and I'm not gonna look at women or objectify them or lust or anything. I'm gonna stay stable. And they'll go outside within a minute or two. If the right girl passes by, they're done. You know? So it's like, I don't know how, how important it is for one to really transcend this. But I can tell you, imagine though, if it's this difficult, imagine what the reward is if you do transcend it. You see? Look at it like that. Because there's so much energy that's unconsciously going into these things. It's hemorrhaging so much energy that we're not even aware of because it's just natural. Everybody does it. What would it be like when that's not happening? Because it doesn't go away when you get older. That stuff stays in your mind. It doesn't go away. Even if your equipment don't work anymore, and well, there's things that you can use to make the equipment work. There was a thing in Thailand, when I was living in Thailand, there was a certain period where there were all these suicides, seemingly, and they were all old men. And what would happen, their equipment didn't work, but yet the mental desire to still do this stuff was still very active and alive. So it's like, okay, how do I get the equipment to work? Oh, I'll go to Miramar and buy, a whole box of Viagra for $10 or something. This gets my equipment to work. But what happens is the way that drug works, it steals. Okay, why doesn't your equipment work? Because there's no blood going there. Why? Because your heart, you don't have good blood flow, or your heart's not pumping enough blood, whatever. There's a reason why it's not happening. So when you take these Viagras, what happens? It forces blood from your heart that your heart needs, okay? Otherwise, if you were in overflow with blood, the blood would go there. But you have a lack of blood, so the heart's keeping this blood for itself and sending to other organs that are more important than if you have an erect penis. See, body's intelligent. So we're gonna bypass that because we're a sex addict, or we want to have sex with this young girl, and so we're going to take Viagra, and then we're going to force the heart to send blood to the penis, and then we'll be able to have sex. Well, guess what happens? They end up dying. The heart's like, okay, man, you want to take my blood? Go ahead, but you're not going to have the body's not going to. It's going to expire. So they'll die. Well, the Thai girls get nervous, right? Because they don't want to think that they're going to be blamed for it, and so they throw them off the balcony of their apartment, And they've already been drinking and everything, so there's alcohol in them, and so then they just think it's a suicide. But that started happening so much that even the cops, which they're not the smartest, but they started to realize, wait a minute, there's a pattern here. How can they just keep, committing suicide and keep using the same way to commit suicide? And so then they got, the girls had to find a better way to do it after that. I don't know what the way was, but because the guys aren't going to stop doing Viagra, that's not an option, So anyway, this is where this can lead us. This is if we don't transcend this sexual instinct, and it's already playing out in an excessive way. I'm giving extreme examples, so I'm not saying like everybody's going to end up like that, but I'm giving these examples for illustrative purposes, because this stuff can really, this lust, just be aware of how this lust and edging and all these tendencies, how they can get you to do things or say things that maybe normally you wouldn't do. This is all I'm trying to say. It's the reason I'm sharing about this is to help you with your introspection, because the more conscious we are of something, then these things are going to die. That's the beginning of the end for them, when we become conscious, because you can't consciously be unconscious. You can't do unconscious things if you're conscious, at least not for too long. So I hope that helped you out. I felt to share that, so I wanted to, I was going to try to interject it in a previous video and I forgot, so I just made a whole video now about it. So hope that helps you. Have a good day.